right. JJ?
Hey, Jeff, how you doing today?
Good, JJ.
What were just some of your takeaways from this past week's game?
Getting their quarterback back, made them a lot better. That's what's so hard about this season is I'm sure for you guys too, you never know who you're going to really play against. Schematics change because the coaches got different players, so they might not give you the same thing they did the week before. But I thought 5 getting healthy, 17, Gore, that quarterback, those are as good of offensive players as we've gone against. Those are 4 really good players. So defensively, they were what we thought they were going to be. Very scrappy, a very good defense. They were hard for us to break tackles. We didn't break any tackles. They had 14 big plays. We had 4. It's hard to win a football game that way. And our kids just did what they've done all year, and we just outlasted them. We just out-scrapped them. And it's a hard place to play. It's a real environment. They fed off their fans, their band. Proud tradition there. You can just tell they've been winning a lot of football games for a long time. And it was as good a win as we've had this season in a very tough environment.
On the offense, Frank was somewhat efficient passing, but we didn't see as many passes as this game. Was that just part of the game plan?
Yes and no. We missed some early, and we got to run the ball very good. And it was 23-10, and we had lost quite a few safeties. We were struggling with some of our packages on defense. We knew we didn't match up well with 5 and 17. So I tried to end the game on 4th and 1. If we make that one play, I think the score goes to 30-10, and it's a totally different ball game. They stopped us, which that's on me. They dumped the ball up into the Gore. We missed about 4 or 5 tackles, and now the momentum is totally turned, and we're in a dogfight. That's why I'm so proud of. If you're not there in the moment, you don't really realize what our kids did to win the game that last 10 minutes. That was impressive.
Okay, Greg.
Jeff, this week is technically the last game of the season as it's scheduled now, and it's also senior day for you guys. How are you approaching that dynamic with the group?
It's obviously, we're at 23 seniors that we'll be honoring Saturday. We're trying to communicate with them and just make sure we do what they want done to honor them for what they've done for this university. And I'll always be grateful forever that, they didn't choose me. I chose them. I know I said that numerous times, but since December the 9th or whatever day I first addressed them, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's around that time. They have given me everything I could have ever asked for. And they've been a blast to coach. And that's the hardest on them. And I've tried to be the most careful with them. Most coaches just come in and say, we're going to get rid of the seniors. We're going to start with the young guys, and we're going to build for the future, right? And I've just never been that guy. Those are somebody's children, and they deserve the best senior year they can possibly have. And myself and my staff have done everything in our power to give those 23 seniors the most memorable year we possibly could. And I feel confidently they feel that way as well.
Have you gathered from that group who is playing their last game and who is likely coming back for next year? How far have you gotten along in that process?
Yeah, you talk about first year coach having to deal with some stuff now. That's been awkward to say the least, but we're starting to have those conversations, and we'll figure it out as we go. Right now, we're treating all 23 as if it's their last game, and then we'll revisit the guys that are considering coming back.
Do you need to know that up front for recruiting purposes, or do you approach recruiting the same way regardless?
Yeah, handling that number it's going to be an interesting dynamic. It's something we need to know. I don't think it has to be just tomorrow. We need to know, but it's something we need to start moving towards, Greg.
Do you see a scenario where this is your last regular season game, or are you confident something will get rescheduled or you'll be able to find somebody after?
And I know everybody's tired of hearing my talk. I get tired of hearing my own self talk. But we had COVID testing at 7 this morning. Let's all just get through the day. Let's get through the day. And I got a lot of smart guys on the screen right now that as soon as I get off this thing, you guys will be figuring all that stuff out for me. And I don't know. I have not been told, Greg. I'm preparing for North Texas. You would think my common sense would tell me if we were going to have a game, somebody would have already told me. So my analysts and GAs could go ahead and get moving on that opponent, right? And as far as we know right now, the powers that be, and Dr. Compost, it's been a communication to me every day on this situation. As of this moment, North Texas is our last game of the year. But this is 2020, man, so who knows?
Okay, Brett. Okay, Brett, you're up.
Sorry, I needed to unmute there. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. So you can hear me. So I just had a couple quick questions for you. This this series with North Texas has kind of developed into a significant one for both schools. How important is this series for UTSA at this point?
They're all important. Next game on the schedule. We don't look at them any differently. We respect what Coach Luttrell's done there. They've got a great program. They've got great facilities. There's a lot of great things about that place. But it's the next team up for us, and that's the way we look at it. And I'm pretty boring when it comes to all that kind of stuff, Brett. So you're not ever gonna get much out of me because it's the truth. That's how we look at it. We're gonna try to win today. We're gonna be the very best we can be today and play the next team on the schedule.
Well, it's worth a shot. This has been a great year for you guys, a turnaround year. You've already exceeded your win total from last year. How much has this helped you as you start out at UTSA to have such a successful year right off the bat?
There's no doubt. Success breeds more success. Before you can ever be a winner, you got to look like a winner and act like a winner. And our kids have been doing a lot of things off the field that I'm very proud of, that have helped us in a lot of tough ball games. Let's be honest. We're 6-4. We could easily be 1-9, and we could just as easily be 9-1. So we're very humble in knowing that 6-4 is probably right where we should be, because we could have easily been. We've won a lot of close ball games, Brett. Let's don't kid ourselves. We've come down to the last play in 5 of our 6 wins, and or not maybe the very last play. SFA, you could argue a few of the last plays, but so we're not. We know we're nowhere near we need to be, Brett, but we're a lot closer today than we were yesterday, honestly.
One guy that's helped get you there is Frank Harris. Now, I know you weren't there when he got there, but what has he meant to your team and your success this year with what he's done for you?
Frank's a great human being. He loves this school. He loves this place. And he has a strong belief in himself. And he's just a joy to coach every day.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for the time.
Brett, thank you.
Hey, Jonas, you're up.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Jonas. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I wanted to check in with how you guys are doing. I know you said on Saturday that you were going to give the celebration, of the victory for 24 hours, and then it's kind of back to work. We're now at that, just past that 24-hour mark. With everything that you've done in the past to the season. It's the final week of the year, on the regular schedule, at least presumed right now. What's the feeling in the locker room with the November to remember within grasp? That was the message you sent out to the team to start this month. It's within grasp, and there's a holiday weekend. It's the last game, potentially last game of the season. How do you keep everybody focused? And what's it like redirecting from Saturday and moving forward this week?
I love it, Jonas. Jonas is feeding my positive dog this morning. That's what I'm talking about. We're being thankful, baby. I like it. I think you summed it up. Our kids have a real bounce in their step. They're very, very proud to go on the road and beat. In spite of what their record was, Southern Miss is a good football team. And getting that quarterback made them way different. So our kids have a real bounce in their step. It's Thanksgiving week. We've all done this a long time. And when you're blessed enough to play a game that matters on Thanksgiving, that's a lot of fun. And that's just the way we're looking at it. I think you guys can tell I try to present that to my kids all the time. That's the way I want them to always be. But I'm 52 years old. I'm a little bit older, more mature. I wouldn't say I'm more wise than they are, but I've probably been around the block a little bit more. They're kids. And I can tell, they can tell the end is coming. It's getting near. 23 seniors, Thanksgiving, a November to remember. For young men, I told y'all the beginning of the year is always easy. The end of the year, when you're playing for something that's really easy, it's that stretch in the middle that's so hard to get through. And we've got through that tough stretch, Jonas. So our kids are in a great, great frame mentally, and that usually goes well physically.
Great. You've used the analogy as well for the season as a book at multiple times and chapters in a book in each game. This is a little bit difficult because you don't know if there's going to be an epilogue after the Mia Bowl game or if this is really going to be the final chapter. How do you direct the attention, direct the focus for your team on this weekend and not anything past that, to see if there's more pages to turn?
I got to talk to some of my players. I think there are some real leaks to you media people. Y'all must be sitting in my meetings. Y'all got them bugged or something. I think that's where we're most prepared right now, because that literally as you know how much I bore you guys to tears every day. We live for the moment. We live for the day. So I literally told them that you guys would speculate on, do we have 4 games left, 3 games left, 2 games left, 1 game left? Are we going to a bowl? Are we not going to bowl? Are we going to play Rice? Are we not going to play Rice? Is it fair? Is it not fair? UAB, blah, blah. I said, I promise you, they'll take care of all that for us. Jonas and Greg and JJ will have that figured out. Our job is to win today. Let's go have the best Sunday we possibly could. Literally, I told them today, I want them to be the best students they can be. I want them to watch as much videos they possibly can be and get as much rehab as they possibly can be. Let's just win today. And I'm going to let all you guys take care of me on that, because none of us know. None of us know. And any moment we spend talking about it, and I'm not trying to be rude right now, we're literally wasting our time in our minds, because I could be, preparing for North Texas. And that's the angle I've told all of our players about. Any dialogue they're having where they're spending a lot of time on things they can't control, you're wasting time. You really are. Now you guys get paid to figure all that stuff out. So that's the fun thing for y'all. It's not wasting your time. That's valuable time for y'all. But for us, we just can't spend much time going there in our minds.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg, you're up.
Jeff, you just laid out a lot of really good reasons why you won't have a good answer for this, but I am curious, did Conference USA give you an idea of how they want to settle the race if it's an uneven number of games? That seems like a difficult situation to sort through.
There are rules written up, Greg. I think you can find that yourself too. Probably I don't really want to, I'd rather you read it and talk back to me about it, because I don't want to mislead you. I think it's going to come down to winning percentage. And I think there's a minimum game requirement, Greg, of what that is. I believe that's 5 conference games, but I would hate for y'all to quote me on that. And I believe it's going to be winning percentage.
Does that make sense to you? Have you thought about what you would like to see or how it should work? Is that something you have a lot of passion about?
Well, when you start the season, pick dead last, and you have nobody on the all-conference team, you don't spend a lot of time reading the championship tiebreaker rules, right? Because you just don't really think you're going to be in it. So now that we're right there in it, it's very fun to speculate and talk about it. But if we don't beat North Texas Saturday, it's not going to matter. We've got to go get that done. And then I think that would be the appropriate time for Jeff Traylor to dive into the rules and start reading stuff. But if we don't win Saturday, it doesn't matter, right? So why would I spend any time when I could be working? And that's where I'm staying. I know that y'all just get so tired of hearing that all the time, but it's literally how I try to live my life. Because when I was younger, Greg, I wasted a lot of time chasing a bunch of ghosts, right? And I really realized that's what's so great about y'all. Y'all are going to do all that for me. And next time I talk, I guarantee you one of you 3 will have it written up and ready to roll for me.
Okay, JJ.
Jeff, what does it mean that you guys are still in the hunt? I mean, for this West Division, can you try and describe what that means?
I'm just so happy for my kids. I am thrilled for them. They've been through a lot. A new coach, no spring, no summer with them, all Zoom meetings, a 2020 election that's still being one of the craziest things ever, social injustice, 4 quarterbacks injured through the year, 9 different starting offensive lineups on the offensive line. We can go on and on and on what our kids have overcome, right? And I'm just thrilled for them. Opportunity or adversity. That's how we started the year out. And we have made this a year of opportunity. And we refused. Huge shout out to Taylor Amy, our president, and Dr. Lisa Campos for having the courage to play ball. Dan Bellamy and Nick for all the protocols we've gone through for COVID testing. What our university has done, President Amy is very, very strong when he says we're the front porch of the university. And, he had the faith and the confidence, Dr. Campos as well, to hire us to come in here and do this. And I'm just glad that we're still representing our university this late in the year. It's a pretty awesome experience so far, JJ.
The 6 wins, there hasn't been a lot of winning with this program the last few years. And, being able to at least get to the 500 mark and maybe even have the chance to have a winning season. Did you know that would be a possibility when you took this job?
I knew I was going to play LSU, and I wasn't real excited about that. That's all I really knew. And guess what? We didn't even know that. But not getting the spring shook my confidence a little bit. Not getting the summer shook my confidence, to be honest with you. But my kids never lost their confidence. And I never let them know I might have been on the fence. It's amazing what kids can do when they believe in something, right? And they have a strong belief in our culture. It might not always been the most beautiful game, but our effort's always been beautiful. There's no one that could ever say when they watch us play that we take a play off. We don't take plays off. That's whenever you have that, JJ, you've always got a chance.
Greg.
Jeff, we saw the same offensive line group play every snap of this game. I know there's been a lot of shuffles there this year, but are you feeling closer to having something solidified, like a unit of 5 that you will be able to see next week? And then if there's games beyond that? Yeah,
we do. We still have B. Rolfe out. We feel really good about his play this year. When we get him back, that'll give us, another really good player as well. But those 5 kids, except for, you got to remember now, Maka didn't get to practice a whole lot. So that was, the communication up there was still tough, but him and KD have played beside each other for quite a bit. So they helped each other out. And Terrell Haynes played a fantastic game. I mean, he really played well. We're so thrilled with that young man right now, how he's come on. And our tight ends block very well. Our receivers, Josh Cephas and Zachary Franklin. And one thing that hadn't been talked about, that was the most dominant our special teams have been since the Middle Tennessee game. Lucas, well, what a game, man. How about the play of Xavier Spencer on the 1 yard line? How about Sheldon Stick Jones on they're kicking off from their 50, and we get the ball back to the 25 yard line. The punt return Sheldon made right on the closing, on the winning drive, the 4-minute drive, right? So many Kalechi covering punts. There's just so much going on out there, man. I know we all talk about sincere, and I get it. Our defense, the interception by Rashad, so many things. We win a lot of our games by one play. And think how many of those one plays I just mentioned. And I'm just thrilled to be their coach.
I thought Trevor Harmonson, it seemed like, made a lot of those plays in this game too. What did you make of his effort in this one?
Thank you, Greg. What about the fake kick he covered up on that? And so many plays he made out there. He was different to me than I've seen him the entire year. Great call there. He was just different. And I'm so proud of that young man. Well, I don't even talk about his off the field stuff anymore because it's not an issue anymore. I mean, he just is here every day. He's on time. He works hard. And I know better than to brag on kids for doing that because it's like the kiss of death. But I hope Trevor's not listening, but I am so proud of him. It's what he did Saturday was a nice call there. He played really, really well, and very proud of him. And Tariq showed back up as well, 20, physical, made some great plays down the field, and really proud of Tariq as well. And then how about Tremaine Bell, great sack, the knockdown pass there at the end. So many kids that we haven't really talked about for a while that just showed up for me again. And I mean it. I'm proud to be their coach, man. They sell out for me every single game, and I love coaching them.
What was that difference with Trevor? Or how was it a step above what you had seen previously?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. He's just gotten a little bit better each week, but he looked different this Saturday. I don't know if it's because my son was at the game, so he knew the Saints were like really scouting a lot of players, and that motivated him. If it's so, I'm gonna get Jordan in there more often. So I don't know what it was, but he played.
You mentioned that fake field goal play. Is he just sort of assigned to be looking out for fakes on that, or does he have a lot of freedom there? How does that come together?
Well, each call's different. We anticipated that, we really did. We felt like with their record, they were going to try to be, the staff's not probably going to be there, right? You have nothing to lose. Why not have fun? We all want to call that stuff. We just know y'all going to crucify us if it doesn't work, so we don't call it. But we want to all call it because it makes you look like a genius when it works. But, man, you feel really bad because they kicked that field goal. We might still be in overtime right now, right? So that was – AP had his job, he did his job, and Trevor had his job, and he did his job. And still Bill Belichick, do your job. And they did their job, and their eye discipline was fantastic.
The one thing you mentioned with the defense after the game was potentially wrapping up better and working on that as opposed to just being physical and making the hits. What was your evaluation of that when you looked back at it on film, and how can you work on that at this stage of the season? I know you don't want to be too physical in practice.
Yeah, it's a great question. We discussed that at length yesterday in our staff meeting. Some of it was poor angles. It was just angle to the ball. It put them in a bad position, right? Some of it was over physicality, just trying to be that guy that has that shot. And some of it we just didn't strain. We did not strain to wrap up and grab cloth. And so it's all three things what we saw. But I'm going to brag on my kids again. One of the reasons we have so many missed tackles is because we try so hard. We've always got 5 to 7 run to that ball. So you're never going to see us not having a bunch of guys chasing. And so that's one of the reasons our missed tackles were so bad on some plays. When you're straining as hard as my guys strain all the time, sometimes the angle is bad. And when you're playing a really good back like Gore or 5 or 17, and you're straining and you're not quite in the perfect position, and you're on the road, and the humidity's that hot, and the band's that loud, the momentum's against you. It's I know those all sound like excuses, but for some reason we don't look that way in the Alamo Dome because that's our place, and our band's going to be rocking, and our crowd's going to be up, and it's just going to be a different feel, and we can't wait to come back home.
So is there a way to address that in practice or to try to improve in that area, or what do you tell the guys about it?
Well, obviously we're going to work, we do the same drills. That's where you think you got to be maybe smarter as a coach. We might need to tweak some stuff, maybe some same as where it's the same type of drill, but it's different enough that it makes them a little more fresh to it. We've got some ideas in mind, but I also know most of it's a mindset. It's a mindset. Our guys have got to focus on that. And pretty much in coaching, if you don't focus on too broad of stuff and you just focus on some real an emphasis on something, it shows up the next week. And I bet we tackle better Saturday. FAU, right? We didn't tackle very well. Very next week, we tackled the best we have. Didn't tackle great this last week. It was our highest missed tackles of the year. This game was.
Jonas?
Coach, I just wanted to go back to earlier in Greg's question where you were reviewing last game, all the players, all the plays, and all three levels of the game that you executed on Saturday. And after the game, you had said the triangle of toughness traveled tonight, right? So I don't know if you guys still take film and put it onto a DVD that you put on a shelf later, but is that one of those games that you take and show future teams where the triangle of toughness can execute on all three levels and come out and even in a nasty game situation like Southern Miss?
Just the last three possessions, Jonas, is all you need that's all you need, right? I mean, you had a knockdown pass by Tremaine Bell. We sacked the quarterback. They punt it. We have a great return. We go into 4-minute offense. All three phases. Triangle of toughness travels. There's just that one series, you can preach it. There are tons of examples of that. And I'll go even further. I know we didn't win at UAB, but when you lose your quarterback on the first snap of the game, the triangle traveled that day. I mean, we were physical on defense. We ran the football, and we covered kicks like crazy. Look at BYU, one of the best teams in the country. The triangle traveled. We might not have won the game. Look at FAU. We traveled. I mean, so it is a proven look, when I was young, I wanted to throw it 65 times a game and be the most cool guy on the block. Team football is how you win. Team football is how you win. You got to be great on defense. You got to be able to run the ball when everybody knows you're going to run it. And you got to be dadgum good on special teams. Passing, no doubt. There's nothing I like better than watching Zachary Franklin and Josh Stevens run right by somebody for an easy touchdown. But that's not going to sustain a whole season. We've all seen that. We've got on here numerous times and said, what about this? What about that? Because passing is that. But, man, physicality on defense, team run, and being great on teams, that'll go in anybody's suitcase and get on anybody's plane.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. God bless. Birds up.